every like massive fashion creator in the world had these, obviously usually made of leather. Something's awry. You're gonna recognize these and probably laugh. They literally looked so good with every outfit. I got some really different, exciting packages recently, and I wanted to share them with you because you guys, the internet influenced me. I was seeing videos on TikTok about people buying designer dupes on DHgate. I had never purchased from there before. I had to try it out for myself. So I ended up getting 4 things. And I'm gonna show you today what I got, what I like about them, what I think about them, and let you know. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first purchase I was very excited about because I had my eye on these for such a long time. They're so heavily a trend. They would have next to no resale value, I believe, especially if I had worn them. They're a flat sandal, and when I actually first saw these sandals come out, I thought they were so ugly. So I feel like I warmed up to it because it was such a trend and not because it was like a timeless, beautiful piece that I'll love forever. So I was not about to go and splurge and spend thousands on these. So let me show you. Okay, so I got the one, the only Chanel dad sandals. I think these are a pretty good dupe. I think they're a pretty damn good dupe. I'm gonna try and hold them closer. I do want to say, I have worn these to death this summer. I actually purchased these few things with the intention of making a video on them and not really necessarily wearing all of these. It was more an experiment, and I ended up loving these and wearing them all the time. They're so comfortable. They're basically an orthopedic sandal. So hence why I didn't really like them at first. Like, I thought that they were just so ugly. You can see that the logo has really faded because I've worn them so much. Yeah, there you go. So they are the kind of more canvasy material, black obviously with the Diamante C's, and I think that these are really quite close. I've looked at quite a few photos side by side, but I'm not one of those people who's like, number one, I never buy dupes, so I'm not seasoned in that department, which I know there are definitely a lot of people that are. I also kind of got them just to see what they were like. I don't care that much. I didn't even think I would wear them, and I ended up wearing them a ton. So I was really impressed from the moment I pulled them out of the box. And wait, on talking about the box, let me just show you what they came in. This has got to be my favorite part of DHgate, is that they kind of like replicate what things may or may not come in. Usually it's nowhere near close to what you'd actually get it in. So for these, they came with a little bag, like paper bag that in no way fit the box. Then they came in like a shoe box, and everything was just really over the top, if you ask me, like so silly. There was like a dust speck, whole 9 yards, which was so funny. All in all, I am very impressed with them. I have worn them a ton. They have held together really nicely. 2 points of note in terms of quality that I have found. Number one is the sole. When I got them, and I think I did film a clip before I ever worn them, so if I did, I'll insert the footage. These are the sandals. I have not worn them because I wanted to film this and show you, but these are the sandals. The biggest complaint that I have about them is the bottom is completely smooth. The sole of them was like the smoothest surface in the world, and even walking around in my condo, I was like slipping all over the place, and I was like, well, I can't wear these unless I figure that out. So I ended up buying little grips on Amazon and just like stuck them on the bottoms. But then I actually realized more recently, I don't know if you can see that hideousness, but essentially there was a plastic covering that I just never saw on them. So I put these little pads on the kind of like inside of the toe area, but then this really smooth surface is now disgusting. It's so gross, but that's on me. So if you happen to get them, dupe or not, look for plastic on the bottom just to make sure that you get it off, because that's kind of gross. The only other thing to note is, I don't know if you can see, I don't know how to do this. Okay, there we go. Can you kind of see the stitching coming off right there? So there's a few points where the Velcro is and the stitching is like kind of, there you go, you can kind of see there. The stitching's not great. It's one of those things that, dupe or not, you're not always gonna get a piece and it's just gonna be a void of any sort of defect. Obviously, everything you purchase, no matter what the price point is, can have issues with it. So I don't know if this is like solely because it is a dupe or not, but that is the other thing that I've noticed. I don't mind it. I actually just trim it off with scissors and it's good to go. But it does fray a little bit. So those are the two things. Obviously the logo has rubbed off quite a bit, but that would happen no matter what with just like your foot in there in the summer, you know? I think they are amazing quality considering. I think that they're really cute. I really got on board with this trend, like I said, so I have really enjoyed pairing them with sweatpants, with shorts, with jeans. Like I've worn them a ton and I love them. So they were just a fun purchase that I didn't expect to actually wear out of the house, and yet here I am. Okay, next up are handbags. I got 2 handbags, and the one I actually intended to buy a dupe and then the authentic version and show you side by side the differences that I was noticing. But it's interesting because after owning the dupe, it made me realize that I didn't really want this particular bag in the end. So I'm not going to get the other one and show you the side by side. So I'll just show you the dupe. And I think this one's pretty good as well. I'm pretty happy with it. I've worn it a fair amount, and the reason I've worn it is kind of also the reason I don't want to purchase and invest in one. So I got the Prada Re-Edition handbag. It comes with this little pouch. It kind of doubles as 2 bags in one, which is what really appealed to me, because you can actually just take off the straps and then you have like a little handbag like this. It's super casual because it is nylon, and because of that reason I wear it a lot, and I feel like it goes with a lot. It's casual yet kind of fun. Because it is so casual, I feel like I would rather spend more money to invest in something that felt a little bit more luxurious than kind of the middle of the road nylon. And I actually really like the simple nylon bags with just the one handle, and they come in a lot of really unique colors, and I feel like this bag in particular in black, it was like a bestseller and you see them constantly. So I feel like maybe I would want to get a color you don't see all the time or something like that in lieu of this. But I have really liked it. I really like the straps. I don't know why. I just think the straps are really awesome and fun. And I have just loved crossbody bags this summer in general. So I have found myself reaching for it. I have yet to use it with just this little guy as like a shoulder bag, but I definitely will do that as well. Yeah, so that's kind of the story. It almost ended up being like a good trial run because I was considering purchasing this bag from Prada. So this kind of allowed me to pair it with outfits and get a sense of what I thought before investing, and it ended up turning me off of this as a particular investment. So that was kind of interesting, an interesting little like way to tell if I was really ready to commit, and I wasn't. So I learned from that. But this is the bag. I think it is, oh, that's very shiny. I think it is really good quality. I mean, again, it's nylon, so it's a bit of an easier bag to find a nice dupe of because the material is not that expensive to create. I'm sure it has a ton of differences. Again, I'm not like an expert in this regard, so I don't know the exactness. It comes with a little like a Re-Edition guy. Yeah, it's fun, it's good. Cute. The second handbag that I got, I was the most excited for and the most let down by, I think, because this is a dupe for a bag that has had a huge moment this summer, especially. Not only that, the brand is having such a moment of like resurgence, everyone's obsessed with them, and they have such beautiful pieces. And this bag in particular, I just love the design of so much. I think it elevates outfits. It's so beautiful. And I definitely wasn't really allowing myself to invest at that level, but I was very curious to see what dupes were like. In general, I do find that there are so many dupes and like influenced by versions of this bag. by so many different brands, like pretty much everywhere you shop, from your Zara's to your ASOS to your Nasty Gal, you will find like replica inspired by different things of this bag and just of the brand in general. It is a dupe of the Bottega Veneta mini Jody bag, and I just think that this bag, the design of this bag is just so beautiful. This beautiful knot detailing, obviously usually made of leather. The green in particular this summer, I know this kind of shade of green and in just green in general was so popular. So this bag in this particular color was quite coveted, and I was obsessed with it. So I was really excited to get this, but as I did say, this was my biggest letdown. So in general, this bag is very petite. I know an influencer I follow has the bag in, I think, beige, Sivan Ayla, and she was saying that she feels like this bag she just never uses because it is so small. It ends up, when you open it, just being so tiny. It only fits like my wallet, my phone. I mean, it's not that tiny. I think we all, if you guys are of a similar generation to me, you've definitely been through the wristlet era, so we know tiny, and this is not that. But it is still a very small bag. It's obviously not crossbody either, so there's no way to even put it on your shoulder. So it's literal handbag. So that's first. It's like not the most practical thing out there. But the biggest issue with this dupe in particular is from this angle, it looks okay. And from this angle, you can start seeing something's awry. This is the handle. The bag is incredibly lopsided. And I have tried to push that handle over and it won't budge. And the knotting is like, as soon as you start kind of trying to play with it, you uncover the under bits of the knotting, and it's just defective. So I have used this a couple times despite its lopsidedness, and the quality is just not great. You can see kind of the white siding to each of the layers. I don't really like that. I'm not actually sure what the Bottega one looks like in that regard, but I'm sure as hell do not expect it to be very lopsided. So this one was definitely a bit of a letdown, but I still wanted to get it, so I will show you this side. I still wanted to get it, so this is it. I also did wear it out, and a girl who was a hostess at the restaurant I went to was very sweet and was like, "Oh my goodness, is that a Bottega?" And I was like, no, I can't lie to you. It's just an online purchase. And then one of my girlfriends really loved it as well. So it did get some compliments because I think what it's based off of is one of the most beautiful handbag designs. So not super surprising, but I wish it was less lopsided. All right, I have one more purchase to show you, and this one, if you've seen my previous videos, you're gonna recognize these and probably laugh. So let me just show you. I got a dupe of the Prada Monolith patent booties. And the reason this is so funny is in 2019, these boots, I think they came out that year, and they were everywhere. Every like massive fashion creator in the world had these boots, and I became obsessed with them. I thought they were so cool. I had seen people wear them with sweatpants, with casual looks, with like tights and dresses. Like they literally looked so good with every outfit, and I was just obsessed. I have a little bit of a tomboy heart, and so anything like this I just loved, and I was obsessed with them. So in 2020 I just decided to look one day on the internet and see, because I looked at in late 2019 and they were just sold out everywhere. I couldn't find them anywhere. And then in 2020, in I think July, I just decided to look online, and I looked on Farfetch, which is such a good website to find things. They basically source from like luxury stores all around the world and will send it to you in whatever country they find them in. And they had them, and I bought them, and it was a devastating purchase. And the reason is I got the wrong size. I won't tell you the whole story. If you're interested, I will link the video. You guys can go check it out. I got the wrong size, and they were way too small on my feet. And we all know if you're gonna get a boot and it be the wrong size, you want it to be up so you can wear like a thick sock with it or put an insole in it. not too small, because then you're just really shit out of luck. So I ended up getting them. I tried to stretch them with a cobbler. I tried to wear socks and stretch them out a bit. I had so much patience for them, but they were just too small. The cobbler that I took them to, he's amazing. And he was like, this is the tightest like leather I've ever seen. I cannot stretch it. So needless to say, I ended up rehoming them to a girl through, I used Vestiaire, a collective, which I really recommend for luxury consignment, either shopping or selling. They're amazing. So I sold them through that site, and I was very, very sad to see them go, because at that point I had lost money on them. I couldn't return them anymore, and they were completely sold out again. So it was a bit of a sad time for me. But I just thought, why not get the dupe? I've had the real version. It'll just be an experiment, and best case scenario, they're not that bad and I can wear them, because I do love the style so much. And I've tried to find them this year, and it looks like Prada is not releasing the patent version anymore. They have like a brushed leather version, which are beautiful, but these they had something so special about them because they were patent. So, and I'm just not sure that I'll purchase another pair, but I ended up getting these. So they're pretty good, and I am excited to wear them. They are big enough. They're actually a little too big, which I'm fine with. And the biggest difference is this piece of elastic, because they're obviously like based off of a Chelsea boot. This elastic is wider than the Prada version. So that's one thing, but they do make it so it's a little bit more comfy to get on your foot, because it's like a bigger amount of space that will stretch. The other thing is, I believe the space between the sole and the top where the patent is rounder maybe and higher. So I find these ones have like almost a slight bit more like clown vibe to them, which is not what we want, but whatever. The sole looks actually really good, like really, really good. I don't know if I can get that to show. Yeah, there you go. So they have a sticker on them still, obviously, but this part, like, it looks really, really close and good. When you put your fingers like here, and you can squish it, which is such a random thing to say. The sole is a bit squishy. Like the bottom of it's hard, but right in here, it's like quite squishy. And the Prada versions are like solid as rock. They're a lot heavier than these. And definitely they don't have squish. So those are kind of the biggest differences that I have noticed. The other thing is in the right shoe, there's like a piece of metal sticking straight up from the sole. So I'm gonna MacGyver a way to shove it down somehow. I don't know how I'm gonna do that. Might take it to another cobbler and ask them to like do something if they can. Because I don't wanna puncture my foot if I wear these, but that is definitely a defect that I will say. So these ones, yeah, the shape of the toe looks a little, something's different. I like them though, I still like them. So this is the last purchase I got. I have not worn them, hence why the sole is like perfect. But I do plan on wearing them this fall and making up for lost time from my sad experience last year. All right, so that is the end of my dupe haul. I definitely wanted to share this with you guys because these kinds of videos and channels, there's people who have like complete TikTok channels and Instagram accounts dedicated to luxury dupes. And they're having such a moment right now as well. I see them all the time and I was really intrigued. Clearly, I purchased a few things. So I wanted to share with you what I thought. My experience purchasing off of DHgate was totally fine. Things didn't take too long to come, which I know can be a concern. I had no concern with like using my credit card to pay through the site or anything like that. My experience was very good. Obviously, do your own research if you are interested. That being said, I think overall, I will say when it comes to luxury, I would rather have few very special luxury pieces in my collection than tons of dupes. I also really love consignment for luxury. There's so many good stores in cities. Like there's a bunch here in Toronto, there's one amazing one in Vancouver that I know of. Obviously all over there are luxury stores that sell consignment. There's also amazing options. Like I mentioned, I sold my boots on Vestiaire. Vestiaire is incredible. Like I would highly recommend if you guys are interested. They've got so much inventory, you could never see it all. So anything you're looking to purchase, just have a look. There's also the Real that's really popular. There's tons of different places that you can find luxury consignment. So that would be my suggestion. I think that it's a lot more special to get a couple pieces. I also feel like I feel like people get very caught up in the very trendy luxury items, and that's what they go to the DH Gates of the world to try and find dupes of. But at the end of the day, I kind of feel like it's more special to get vintage items that you don't see all the time, perhaps, or just really unique pieces that other people aren't gonna have. One day I'm so excited to get myself a Chanel someday, and for me, I think getting vintage Chanel is like a no-brainer because I think the brand itself has such a history. So I think getting something of a slightly different era, even if it's 20 years ago, is really cool. And I think it's also just obviously a much more sustainable way. It's a lot more affordable, and really properly wonderful made designer is going to stand the test of time. So as long as you care for a while and you get like something that's in pretty good condition, it's definitely going to last you as long as you want to keep it. If that's forever and you like give it down to your kids or what have you. I just think getting luxury consignment, there's something so beautiful about that, and I would rather go that route and have fewer items that mean more to me in my wardrobe than I would to do this and just get dupes that are poorly made, cheaply made, etc. But I did want to share it with you because I think a lot of us are really curious, especially seeing all these kinds of accounts that are popping up, because some of the dupes are just, they're really quite good. So I was just curious. So I wanted to share this experience with you. I hope you guys liked this video. Let me know what your favorite designer pieces are as well. Anything you want to get that you have your eye on one day, because I know I have a lot. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you in the next one.